Hi, welcome back. This is the Bit-Mage, and yeah, today we're going for a very long one. The crux of it is Emacs as your intellectual headquarters. I'm going to be touching on a lot of topics right now, and yeah, today I wish to go for one of those OG videos that I used to do. No fooling around, I just go to Emacs with philosophies and ideologies baked and adapted to Emacs, and Emacs adapted to those. We're 200 strong, by the way, so just around 4 or 5 days ago we crossed 200, so that's nice. Thanks for all the subs, and appreciate that you're enjoying the content. I can draw now, by the way, so if I do need to explain anything, I should be able to, yeah, just go in and probably draw some arrows here and there. So the explanations are probably going to be better henceforth if I do want to say something conceptual. I am not going to be touching the mouse. This is the only case where I do touch the mouse. Otherwise, it's mostly going to be a keyboard-based workflows. That is what I'm going for. Efficiency is what we're gunning for. And yeah, let's get right into it. Today is going to be a completely pragmatic one, and it's not just Emacs, but then anything that I read about being an intellectual worker as well. So I'm an engineer, by the way. I do work across a lot of domains. If you're interested in what I work in, do check out the blog link that I have in description. But then it's you could say it's like full stack computer science that I'm all over the place. So it comes with a lot of learning overhead, and I do have to get into a lot of things from time to time, and I do have to catch up on a lot of older things again and again because I do revisit them over yeah, over different projects. And yeah, I have to make connections, I have to adapt things here and there. So Emacs, I've chosen as my intellectual headquarters. I've been spending quite some time in Emacs, but in this particular workflow that I'm showing you, I've sort of matured into it over a span of around 3 to 4 years at least. Like I've explicitly been on this for like 3 to 4 years. I have done a lot of things. So there were times where I shifted out of Emacs and came back in, and like I tried other things. But yeah, I came back to Emacs, and right now, you could say I'm sort of in a local optima of efficiency and comfort in terms of how I document everything. So today is going to be a very detailed one, and let's get right into it. So when I talk about what I particularly do in Emacs and these videos, it's going to be how I manage knowledge in general, how I manage all that I do, how I manipulate things around, how I create these videos, how I push blogs, and how I intend to use Emacs to actually be my intellectual headquarters as a source of truth for all that I'm thinking in a moment. Truth is probably the wrong word because there's a lot of opinions in there. But then as a single point where I can actually play around with the abstractions in my head and the ones that are out there, facts, fiction, non-fiction, opinions, everything, how I manage all of that. All the tools that I get into it, I'll also be sharing my dot file, so they should be in the description. Do check those out. I've actually cleaned up a lot in terms of how I manage my configuration. I'm using new store now. I'll probably create another shorter video for that, a small tutorial for that. But yeah, that is not the point of this video. This is going to be more about a day in the life of an intellectual worker who just resides in Emacs and is like a pretty keyboard optimized workflow. Probably the percentage of time that I use the mouse in my days around. Because the 5% when I'm checking mail here and there, or even that, I might just use Vimium. But then I'm like being lazy, sipping coffee with the left hand. I might just use the mouse to like check mail and stuff and scroll around. So this is heavily keyboard optimized. I mean, if I'm like working, I'm not sipping coffee. I'm like my both hands are on deck. Uh, and I do read a lot. I am one of those productivity nuts that reads quite a lot of books. So I have tried and adapted a lot of ideologies over the past 3 or 4 years that I've been reading into Emacs, and all of these are sort of tested. There's nothing experimental right now. What I'm going to show you is something that I've actually been using in a lot of my workflows for at least 6 months. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to distill all of my findings and anything in probably a good. 1 hour 45 minutes, like an hour long thing or like 45 minutes. Like, let's see how long it goes. Most of my videos are unscripted, and it's just outlines that I work on. So getting into it, all of my workflows start with an enqueue. So an enqueue is whenever I have an idea, I am going to capture it somewhere. So how I do those is with org GTD captures. GTD is getting things done. There's a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. That's what I've implemented in Emacs. How I do that exactly is I've set up some capture templates in my config.el. I'll just open that up. Okay, not here. Config. Yeah, we're gonna go to GTD. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, I can see this. See these. I have just set up a particular capture. I've got this org file. I'm going to split and open that org file. I'm in gtdhq.org. This is a version controlled, like a privately version controlled org file. That's where I push all of my in queues. So in my in queues, what comes in is next actions, anything that I want to do next, any meets that I have, any events that I need to like log in, any deadlines, anything like that that I have. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So, for example, if I wanted to be like, I need to create a thumbnail for this video, anywhere I am in Emacs, yeah, let's say I'm at this particular file right now, Emacs Ogrom HQ. I'm gonna shift that here. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So I'm in this particular file right now, ogrom.org. That's where I'm like, that's where my YouTube's outline is right now. What I would do is hit space NN. That will prompt my capture template. Okay, hold on. This like looks like a new one. Huh. Yeah, anyway. I had space NN. There's a template for projects, centralized templates for projects, personal to do personal notes. Huh. This looks like a new one. Journal.oxpk. Okay. Yeah, all of this seems changed. P. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, there you go, there you go. I don't know why that happened, but I'm just gonna hit space NN now. I think that wasn't executed, and maybe I should just re-execute the whole thing. I'm gonna reload Doom for a second. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna hit space NN now, and I see my capture templates. Oh, yeah. Now I can just select anything that I want to go to. So my next action is probably going to be, yeah, create a thumbnail for, yeah, for the knowledge video. I could probably have deadlines for it. Let's just say I'm going to create it tomorrow morning. I want to do it, say, early 6 in the morning. I could hit CC, and it should be captured somewhere in yeah, in my org file, so you can see it. It was open right here because we had it open. You could see where it is being captured. It's in my NA right now. If I have something, say I want to like just explore in the moment. So right now, I just faced a bug right now. So oh, this is like the perfect moment to demonstrate it. What I would do is if I have something that is catching me off guard, I would just move on to, let's say, a new workspace in Emacs, and I will pull out my journal. I haven't journaled anything today, but I will just hit space and JJ. Takes me to the journal, gives me the timestamp, creates a file for where I'm in, and I'll be like encountered an org capture uh, bug today. Need to investigate. And all these entries is what I process at the end of the week. So this is again a version control directory that probably that has a lot of files. So they're just named by year, month, and date. So these are all my journal entries. If anything like this that I encounter, that something catches me off guard, it just goes in here. So anytime you're distracted or anytime, say, I don't know. This is sort of, I don't know. I'm like pretty lucky that I actually found an original bug and I didn't have to pretend that something wrong happened. Uh, yeah, I could just type in I executed the capture templates and it worked. Yeah, see what went wrong. Something like that. So there's that. So my journal helped me do that. And if I say if I'm doing something else again and I get another issue or something, I hit let's go back to yeah yeah. If I hit space njj again, it'll just create another timestamp and like put me into the second level heading for that. And I'll be like, yeah, this is an org journal demonstration note. That's pretty handy too. Let's magnify a little. Yeah. So how I actually do this is particularly by flags, config flags. So my org right here, it should be out here. In my org room extension, the org enablement for my init.el in my Doom configs, I'm using a bunch of things. I'm using Rome. That is something that we'll get into soon. I'm using journal. Journal is what is actually helping me with uh, journaling these things right now with all the shortcuts, presets. I'm using defaults. I don't use a lot of customized things. So there's that. Pandoc is for exporting easily and that sort of stuff and like having markdown previews. I do use that from time to time, not so much. But yeah, these are the particular flags that have enabled with org. If you hit a plus journal, you're going to get these functionalities. GTD is something that you have to set up on your own. I'll get into that right now. How to set up GTD. GTD is getting things done. Yeah, my GTD setup is you just use the package org and you set up your org agenda files. Now, this agenda files is something that will give you a quick overview of your particular file. Now, my GTD HQ file, I'm just going to go there. It contains all of these headings for what I want to document and what I want to, let's say, yeah, uh, index into whenever I need to pretty quickly. There's also a companion file that is an GTD archive. It should be something like, yeah, GTD org archive. So whenever something I do not want anymore, I'll just archive it. Test archive. I'm just going to close the other buffer. And I select that and I hit space M, capital A. It archives it. So yeah, it goes back into the GTD HQ archive. So, and all of that is again version controlled. All of it is yeah, accessible. So anything that I was working on probably 3 or 4 years ago, it's still there somewhere. I can still know what I was working on. So, and just because it's text, so 15K characters right now. I think let's count some WC. No, there's like a word count or a character count in Emacs. I don't know. Character count. No, there's nothing like that. Let's just word count. Okay. Let's just read. Let's just pipe it through WC. Yeah, just let's just pipe it through WC. What do I get? Okay. There's like 444. There's like 2009 words and 14,937 characters. So just assume that a character is like 8 bytes, or not 8 bytes. Yeah, let's just work with UTF-8. Yeah, 8 bytes. Uh, so yeah, it's pretty handy. There's nothing, not a lot going on. It's pretty convenient, and there's a lot of history going on. I'm just gonna like undo that because I don't know to do at all. So that's how my the GTD thing is set up. And if you hit space and N, that's going to give me an overview. So today I had this shoot, this particular stream, this shoot scheduled for 4 today, and I missed that, so I'm seeing that particular here. I'm seeing this tomorrow. Uh, that I have to create a thumbnail for the knowledge work video. If I zoom out, yeah, you should be able to see it better. Yeah, and anything that I want to learn as well, it gives me a global list of to do, something that is not scheduled. Anything that I want to do for this week is in there with timestamps and everything. So every Friday, I have a habit of flushing all of my NQ ideas. So I do not let it stay for a long time. You saw that NQ particularly there, right? I'm going to go to space OG. This particular NQ flag. Here is where I actually uh, put in things that I want to study sometime. These are just random things that I want to like further deepen my understanding into. I get these ideas from, these are not ideas exactly, these are things I want to study. So I probably might want to do something, I might want to explore a particular aspect of these things. And yeah, so that's that. So let's say I wanted, yeah, so I was like getting into EBPF, that is the extended Berkeley packet filters, if I'm being correct. Yeah, uh, I wanted to study those up, so I just pushed that into NQ. I never knew when I was actually going to schedule that in. So at the end of the week is probably when I schedule these in to my next actions. So what I'll do then is I'll, yeah, entered on. I can see all the links and everything. So I do have a link in here. So, and this link is not something that I've put in myself. It has been inserted by Ogro. How it does that is, let's say I'm going to go into a particular, let's go to Emacs right now. This is my node in Emacs in Ogro. Ogro, what it basically is just Rome. Rome research is the thing that is inspired by, adapted to org mode. What it helps you do is store your nodes in a graphical manner. So nodes and edges, and yeah, you could just have a flat file system where there's like, yeah, nodes being your files like this one is, and it is connected via links to other files. So that's the gist of it. You guys probably already know it. I do talk about it in a lot of other videos as well. I'll also push the link in description for further investigation. So right now I'm just gonna hit space. I'm just gonna like record something in my in queue. To record something, I'm gonna hit space NN, and I'm gonna hit I for my in. Yeah, so there you go. It just gives me a mini buffer, opens up a mini buffer. You see that it is pointing to my file, the gtdhu.org capture buffer. Entered on it, it enters the time in itself, and I just say a test in queue. And it is also inserted a link by itself, that stream link. That stream link is the particular location I'm at in any file right now. And it just doesn't, it's not just for Ogro, it's any file. I'm just showing you an Ogro example because that's how I use it exactly. So if I hit Control C, it's going to be captured in my in queues. So there should be a test in queue right now here. And if I hit and enter in this particular link, it's going to take me to that file. So if for example, I was reading upon eBPF, the extended Berkeley packet filters, a couple of while ago. How while ago? Like it was just this Monday, I think. Yeah, there you go. The date helps. So I'll push this here. Yeah, now you should be able to see it better. The date helps. See, entered on. I think that's it's been done by, yeah, automated e-list functions and everything. So if I hit on that, it is just going to take me to the place where I was actually reading up on extended Berkeley packet filters, EBPF. There you go. I had some resources in where I would like to actually like read up more and everything. So there's that too. If I hit that, this is an external link, and one interesting segue right now is I, yeah, if I hit this link, I've set up the default browser to be Firefox, and it's just going to open up a Firefox link. I hit enter, it's going to take to my desktop where I was using Firefox in. So it's desktop number 9. Usually Emacs is on desktop number 1 for me. On desktop number 0, I have my research papers in. My research papers as in like stuff that I'm reading, not stuff that I'm writing. Uh, it's via a Zotero extension. I'll get into that now as well. Uh, so yeah, eBPF documentation. So this is what I logged in my particular Emacs yeah, Ogrom node. And even here, I do not use the mouse anyway. I just scroll around with Vimium. So I'm using Vim-like keys right now, J and K, to scroll around. I could follow along a heading with F and like follow and click in something. So yeah, I had that stored in there, and I stored that in my in queue. This Friday, I would have scheduled it, yeah, in the next actions week somewhere to be picked upon and actually be worked upon. So this is how I actually manage anything new that I want to study. So, and I could also open this up in EWW, by the way. EWW is the internal browser of Emacs, I'm going to copy that word and I'm going to hit space SW and I'm going to hit shift insert to actually insert the link and I'm going to hit enter. It's going to open up that particular page from me. Now, it's a very basic browser, so it's probably just good for text. And you can pretty much read anything. So you got the hyperlinks and everything. Hyperlinks work. You can see the images a little, but it's pretty handy if you want to do some quick Wikipedia searches. So I don't do this for reading everything. If I just want to say surgically move in and out of the browser for a second, I'll just do that. You can follow links, anything. The same things work. It's like a normal browser. Just no fancy stuff. No, yeah, no. It'll get out of you. It'll let you do its own thing and just move out. You can follow links and anything. I hit enter right now. Did I hit enter? Yeah. Oh, it's a self-referential link. So yeah, let's go up and probably hit a link somewhere, case studies. Yeah, it's going to open something else. Again, we're there. If we hit R, it's going to take me to the reading mode right away. So it's going to take me to the text right away. I'm going to hit R. There's nothing reading like that. So it's like the web page that's messed up. But yeah, anyway, uh, there's nothing out here. Yeah, there is something out here. Anyway, I'm going to hit Q and get out of this. So there's the browser stuff. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about Firefox. There's also an extension called uh, uh, I think it's called Zotero Capture or anything like that. It is the official Zotero extension that I use to save stuff to Zotero. So let's say, for example, I do not want to save this particular document to Zotero. I'm just going to go to archive, SC. I'm going to enter archive. Let's just pick a paper and actually save it. Uh, I might be interested in anything from anywhere. Let's see. Let's read up about computer science. Let's go to networking and internet architecture. Yeah, let's pick up the recent paper, this one. Okay, let's go to that. And yeah, right now if you able to see, I have okay, hold on. Control Shift. Yeah, yeah, that's clear. Control Shift. Yeah. If you see this particular button out there, there's just an extension button. I'm just gonna hit that and I'm gonna save that into Zotero. So it's gonna save that paper in there. And if I go to, yeah, it must have saved it. So if I go in there, it must have started showing. Yeah, exposition of pathfinding strategies. It is saved. Now I'm going to clear the whole thing. Uh, I'll zoom in a little. So if you see, okay, if you see this particular entry, exposition of pathfinding strategies, that was recently saved. That was saved just now. Yeah. So now all of this can be exported via bibliography file. I just export my library in a WebTech format. Uh, I store it again in a version controlled setting. I do not do this regularly. I just do this once when I actually want to refer these notes in my Emacs org room setting. I save it in the same file again and again. This is version controlled. So anytime I overwrite it or whatever, it's getting version control. So it's again version control is a good practice that it just makes life easier. HT and everything is just easier. So now if I go back to Emacs and I hit space CO, I'm just enlisting out the shortcuts that I'm going to getting into, space C and capital O, and I get a list of all of my Zotero entries that I want to get into. What we are looking at is path finding strategies. This is a fuzzy finder. So yeah, you could hit enter and actually see what all resources are available there. So it opened up a bunch of things for me. So Zotero thankfully also downloads the PDF right away for you. I could also just hit enter and view that, or I could create an org-room notes file for that. It'll create a note file for me there, where usually I would have my notes for that particular paper. I'm going to open the PDF right now, and okay, I think I have to go into PDF mode. I haven't loaded that yet. PDF uh, mode, I think like that. What is it called? I'm not sure. I forgot. Uh, what is it called? PDF, PDF view mode. I don't know. this, by the way. Oh, I have to install it. I haven't yet installed it. Okay. I don't think I have read up on install. I'm just gonna install it right away right now. Yeah, it shouldn't take a lot of time. Yeah, there you go. Ah, that's nice. I'm getting a lot of, I don't know, pedagogical bugs in this one accidentally. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I could just read the papers in here. I can zoom in by the way as well, so you don't need to strain your eyes. That's just a random note. There's a lot of shortcuts configured where you could just scroll stuff and like manipulate things and like actually search this PDF as well. I'm not gonna actually read it right now. I might do that sometime down the lane. Uh, yeah, probably should have a separate channel where I just talk about the things that I'm actually studying and everything. But then this is about Emacs for now. So there's that. I hit Q, I'm back into where I am. And I could also I hit space CO, and let's say this is my particular pipeline for how I get papers into my workflow. I do not actually just copy links and paste them in here, but then yeah, this is my particular workflow. So anytime I'm reading, I'm doing a research sweep. I'll go around looking for papers. I'll export the bibliography. I'll refresh it in here, and by refresh it in here, I'll just make sure it's written over there, and like I read it up here, and I had PCO, and everything's accessible to me. So there's that pathfinding. Yeah, just showing you another example of just creating the note right away. It's going to create that note. I hit enter. It creates a note for me. Now I do not want to actually note anything down into it, so I'm just going to add space BD, and I'm not going to save it. So there's that. We're going to go back to the presentation where we were. Yeah, we've covered quite a lot. So we did cover EWW, journal, GTD captures, Vimium'ized Firefox, and Zotero plus Citar. So that is my whole in queue. That is how I take information into Emacs. Now, as with any particular knowledge workflow, it benefits from having a particular discipline. So my in queue, this particular funnel, inputs everything from various sources into well, I'm just going to make it a, a a very organic cloud because there's not a lot of structure. There's a lot of flexibility with what I do in here. Emacs. This is what we're going to talk about here. What happens after this is I'm going to publish curated stuff into boxes, I guess, because like I want to seem structured, so I'm going to like make boxes out here. So this is my publishing pipeline that I will, okay, excuse the handwriting. Yeah, that I'm going to like explain later on after the next section. So yeah, uh, this is the plan. I have already covered the NQ. I'm going to get into Emacs now. Let's just hit Control Shift C. Emacs as in like what I do once I have all this information with me. Okay, so Org room is the backbone of all of it. It is what enables me to actually manage my mind and actually manage all of the state that I'm working on currently. Uh, I'm going to go into my org room file right now. How I've structured it is I have, okay, you hit space and RF. Okay, hold on. I think I hit something wrong. I think I hit space NR. I don't want that. Yeah, I hit space NRF. It opens a fuzzy finder for all of my nodes in Ogro. If I my root node is my index. This is where I have everything. Everything as in like it's a generic disclaimer that I have as to yeah. I'll just read the first sentence. What I compile in these nodes isn't meant to be the factual state of the art, but how I currently perceive what I've partially captured in them. Expect paradoxes, inaccuracies, etc. Yada yada, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of endpoints that I get into, like generic entry points into the whole noting ecosystem. It's actually hosted. I'll not get on that right now. It's actually hosted for you to explore. I do publish my notes in a brain dump format. Like you do see one of those. I had an older videos. I had one older video, like a pretty unpolished version of all of this, but then I'm redoing the whole thing because it's evolved over time. So yeah. a lot of entry points in my whole nodes ecosystem. If I go into the uh, file hierarchy, it's all a flat file system. There are no uh, folders. It's all managed based on tags, and you can have say search. I'm gonna hit space s slash. I've set that to Helm occur, I think. So it's just gonna give me a fuzzy finder into everything that I want. So if I hit Emacs, it's gonna show me all the places that I've talked about Emacs. Yeah, I can like scroll through the notes anywhere. It's taking me through all the different notes that I've placed Emacs in. That is one way of finding things. If you just hit space in RFN itself, you could also do a tag search. I'm going to move my image up a little so that you can see the tags in there. Yeah, I hope you can see that now. So all of the tags that I have in here, I could also search something by tag. So if I just hit Vim, so these are all the things that have either a Vim in it or that have the tag Vim. So let's say if I talk about CS, these are going to be all the things that have either CS in them or all the things that have a tag of CS in them. So that is what helps me kind of manage everything in a non-mutually exclusive way. So something that is a part of CS could also be part of something that is very meta. So I have tags like that. That would be tagged as meta and CS as well. So this particular flexibility with org room is what helps me kind of be all over the place. Now I'm not going to get into the philosophy of being all over the place if it's good or it's bad. That's something to think about for another video. I'm not going into that right now. Crystallization, generalization, all that stuff, not right now. But yeah, it enables you. It's not going to hold you back. It's not going to constrain you into directories and folder structures. And the good thing about it has got a very systematic way of working with things in the sense that everything is linked via an ID, a unique ID that is generated based on the time that the node was created. So even if you change the file name or anything like that, the link still stands. So if I manipulate the file name, link still stands. For example, my index file, the root into my whole brain dump, that was an index dot that was not actually named index.org. It was named by something else. I changed it into this particular thing, and the links still stand because in the properties tab, the ID is what you have. Yeah, ID is what the links are based on. By the way, that ID is a very special one. I set it up myself. I actually manually entered that ID when I created it. I deleted the old one. I entered that. So yeah, without creating any other files and links to it first. Why that ID is special to me is another story. Of course, you might just going for a small 1 minute deviation of a tangent. 1729 is like a Hardy Ramanujan number or like a taxi cab number. So it's like 1 cube plus 12 cube or something like that. It's like the sum of two cubes. But what is interesting, it is also a format pseudo prime. That is something that I noticed when I was doing SICP, a particular exercise in SICP. I was like, yeah, I probably might be the first one to actually notice that this is a format pseudo prime and a Hardy Ramanujan number at the same time. Uh, I mean, computers might have algorithmically noticed it, but then this is something that I found interesting. I also blogged about it, like the moment that I discovered it. Okay, these are like big words. I'm not winning a Nobel Prize for that. But yeah, that's why that number is like pretty special to me. Getting back into what we were talking about. Forget about the 1729 thing. This is how org-roam actually structures your file. So if you actually change your ID, you're messed up. But then if you change your file names or anything like that, you should be fine. Uh, that is good for me because that is the way I like to work. I like to keep it flexible. I like to keep the links abstracted away from how I'm actually working. So I can change the heading of the whole thing. I can change the file name, and the links are still going to exist. So that's a good thing for me. Subheadings can also have these property keys, as in like property indexes into where you want to link them. So that's a thing to note. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the basics of Ogro, how it is actually structured. Now we're going to get into some. details that like really help you configure your workflows and actually uh, get good with what you're doing. Babel is the execution engine that Ogrom uses. Org mode uses, I should say. Ogrom is based on org mode. Yeah, it's just org files and the whole mechanism that I explained. All of that of connections and everything. That is a library Ogrom. That is what is doing all of this. So Babel is the execution engine for org mode, and it enables something very interesting that is yeah, literate programming. So if I wanted to just in my nodes randomly anywhere, say wanted to write a Python script, say I wanted to say, let's just say I wanted to print print some numbers. I'm just gonna quickly, without losing my attention, do something. uh yeah, okay, I think I missed something. Yeah, there's an extra bracket somewhere. Yeah, yeah, something like that. You could execute basic Python scripts, Lisp scripts, whatever. I could just be like elisp and okay, hold on. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, anything like that. So org Babel is what actually enables you to do these things. Uh, the mechanisms of setting it up are like something that is secondary. We're not getting into that right now. This is not a tutorial. This is like an overview or conceptual philosophical overview. Uh, so I just showed you the potential of Babel can do. It can just help you interact across different utilities over the same org file. A very good use case for this would be something like PlantUML. That is how I would actually, yeah, draw graphs like as in not graphs like flowcharts anything like that. I'm not talking about mathematical graphs. Okay, I'm not talking about abstract graphs with nodes and edges. I'm talking about okay, that's exactly the kind of graph that I'm talking about. I'll just show it to you. I'll just show it to you. I go to PlantUML. Yeah, anything like that. I'm gonna hide the images for now. I'll just delete this. I deleted the word result. So you could describe graphs in any language. So right now, PlantUML is a Java-based, I think an executable that converts that's a parser for. It's a domain-specific language, a DSL for creating diagrams, unified modeling language. So if I hit Control CC, it's just gonna create the image for me, and I have that stored in a local image file, and I export both. So when I actually publish this via org export, we'll get into that when we talk about the publishing aspect. It is going to be pushed to my blog, and you actually get to see what is in there. So yeah, Babel is a pretty handy thing, and I've just scratched the surface with what you can do with Babel. Uh, Anything that is accessible to you via the CLI, anything that is accessible to you as an execution engine, like as an executable, something that can take text in and like generate output, any sort of output. You could just work with that in your org files. Now, something that I also like to work with is streams. Streams is something that I just use on my own. So if I go to my index, you should see a stream heading here, and you should probably also see a stream heading in a lot of places. What you see here are timestamps, and these timestamps are, by the way, the number of days I've been alive in hex. I wrote a simple ELS function for that. I'm just gonna go over that quickly. Hex somewhere. I should be able to see that life hex count. Yeah, the simple ELS function is the number of days I've been alive in hex. It just takes the current time, subtracts it from my birthday, and converts that into X and just prints that. Why I like to do that is a blog that I have that I'll probably link in the description somewhere. I have a blog over that why I do that. But then graphs Ogrom naturally enables you to just capture a state in a particular moment, a snapshot of the whole understanding, But things evolve over time, and you do want it to be version controlled, and you want to document your evolution. That's when I use streams. So if I wanted to say, for example, I wanted to note something today, my current thoughts about my particular node right now, I just hit space L. That is what I've mapped the whole index insert into. Gives me the current index, the hex index, as to like what day am I living in terms of hex. I just log it in. See, my mechanisms are pretty smooth around the edges now. Just a random thought that I'm going to like, yeah, probably push. I'll not undo these. So streams is something that I work around a lot. So I'll have an Emacs stream as well. Anything that I work on heavily, I have a stream. So anything that I work on long term, I'm going to have a stream. Any language, Lisp probably has a stream. Yeah, Lisp probably has a big stream, common stream. Yeah, there you go. So there's that. Streams are something that are like fairly important to the whole working process. It complements the whole flat file hierarchy idea of things just being uh, graphs and you being stuck in an instant. It allows you to capture the essence of time, the abstraction of time, temporality in your notes. So streams are particularly important for that. And all of this is, by the way, minimally curated. I just put in anything that I want to in here. I'm going to show you my index disclaimer anytime while I talk about it. Yeah, you guys can read or like pause or whatever while I talk about it. Uh, the link is also going to be in the description if you're interested in. This is like minimally curated. I encourage that you have a minimally curated store of things that you think about, because it just helps in structuring your it just helps in delegating the stress of deciding what is important. You just push everything here and curate whatever you want to later on. So you don't have to worry about forgetting things is what I am in here for. Did talk about time streams and graphs and anything like that. I do like to refactor these from time to time. So I will not edit the streams. I treat them as immutable. If I do edit them somewhere, it is uh, probably I'm not in the right state of mind. But then anything I write in a stream in here is from the intention of it being an immutable data structure of my thoughts over time. It helps understand your understanding over time. So right now we're not just talking about Emacs, but then how you actually how knowledge workers could actually benefit from taking notes and that sort of stuff. How Emacs adapts into my particular workflows. I'm just enabling you with the tools so that you could adapt it to yours. And yeah, I also do use LLMs. I don't use them liberally. I do use caution. I do not use code completion engines. I did try one for a while, but then I'm just not into it. I'm more of I would say I get into edif. Okay, I'm gonna show that to you. I'm gonna go into a buffer file. Okay, let's do something. Generate an I'm just gonna first ask GPT here to generate an essay about Emacs. So it's going to generate that for me. That's fine. Uh, this is something that I have in my GPTL is another extension that I use. An Emacs package. I'll link that in the description. It's great. The main way that I use it for now. Imagine this is a particular Ogrom node in my whole thing. If I don't like a particular area, if I want to uh, actually want to edit the whole thing, I'll hit space IGH. I'm going to go into space IGH. Okay, I'm going to hit space IGS. No, we're just going to create that. Hold on, I want to do that. Space. Yeah, I forget about that. IGH. I'm going to charge GPT. Yeah, forget that. Yeah. So I wanted to rewrite the whole thing. Let's say I want to rewrite the whole thing. I'm going to go into the GPTL menu and I'm going to hit rewrite. I'm going to set a directive. So let's say just give me the 10 most important points. And I'm going to delete all that is before it because I don't want it to rewrite the whole thing. So yeah, I could also just send in a rewrite directly for that. Rewrite, it's gonna do it and it's gonna come back and just, yeah, it's gonna, yeah, there's the prompt. I see a GPT. I'm gonna move my image down again. I see a prompt. Yeah, and it's like a little green right now because it has returned with a response. So if I hit, yeah, you also see it in the menu before LLM rewrite output ready, space IGM to continue. And I'm going to continue with my rewrite and I'm going to enter into, yeah, my edif LLM rewrites. Now, edif is something like a very interesting tool that allows you to actually see what the LLM sees. And yeah, right now, this is not a good example for edif. Edif is sort of particularly useful when you want to say comment your source code or probably refactor your source code is a very good example for using edif. I'll probably show you that to you as well after this. But right now, if I hit question mark for help, you have all of these shortcuts that you could actually, yeah, use. And I'm just gonna quickly just write all that was given to me by the LLM into the main buffer that is coded by W. I think you just select B. Yeah, I have all of that here. And if I wanted to write all of that, I'm just gonna hit WA. I could write that somewhere, but I'm just gonna quit right now because like my GPT EL buffer, the chat GPT buffer is ephemeral. I do not, yeah, I do not explicitly save it anywhere. It's like a live buffer. I have all of that. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of how you could use the edef better to actually work on source code or anything. Let's say, let's generate a complicated C program for, I don't know, a mouse as for dealing with a storage device via custom device drivers, I guess. Let's see what it throws up. Now, I'm not an expert in this, but let's see what it throws up. It's going to give me the C program. I'm going to get rid of the rest, and I'm just going to wanted to refactor the whole thing, right? Let's see. So yeah, that's where the C program ends. Now I'm going to hit select everything. I'm going to hit space IGM. I'm going to go for a rewrite. I'm going to give it the directives. Uh, rewrite the C program uh, with a lot of comments. Do not refactor if needed. Do not alter the semantics. Yeah, the refactor for efficiency. Let's go for that. Refactor if for optimization. I do not alter the semantics. I do that, and I'm gonna hit rewrite. It's gonna do its own thing. It's gonna return with the response sometime soon. The bar should turn green, and yeah, did it? Yeah, it returned. So I'm gonna hit space IGM to continue. I'm going to continue with my rewrite. I'm going to my edef LLM rewrites. And now here, this is a great example for edef. I can just move with the LLM output as to what actually happened, what all suggestions it is giving me. And see, for example, in the left is the original buffer, and the right is going to be what the LLM is suggesting to be in there. So if I wanted to include that, I could just hit D, and it includes that. Let's say, yeah, all of this you could just pass through that. And when you want to actually, let's just say, yeah, I included everything. If you're actually working on a file, I would just hit WA. There's the shortcuts for that again. But then we're working on an ephemeral buffer, so we don't need to do that. That's easy for you, and that's usually how I use LLMs in my whole workflows. I'm going to get rid of the buffer. Let's go back to the org-room HQ. We talked about GPT-EL. It is accessible anywhere and everywhere. I'm not just going to talk about the extension right now, but then AI is something, LLMs are something that I use regularly. I mean, I I do not handicap myself with them, but then I do use them to like sort of build scaffoldings around ideas that I'm working on to actually accelerate my learning. I do wish to build stronger foundations and not just rely on uh, the shoulders of lexical giants, is what I'll say LLMs are. So yeah, that's it. Uh, we've talked about manipulation and organization right now. Once I have all of this, all of these other things that I use together to actually work with my notes and everything, I start working on the whole publishing aspect. I usually publish in 2 or 3 major modes. One publishing is like just this direct uncurated publishing. That is accessible at buffer@thebitmage.com. So I'll post the link in the description. There is one other blog that I have, thebitmage.com. You should probably see it in the top right of your screen right now if you're watching the video. https://thebitmage.com. That's my main blog. That's where my sort of curated stuff goes in. And I write in Markdown. So that is again uh, just a blog. It's just a Hugo blog, and you could manage that and everything with Easy. Hugo is the extension that I use. So yeah, and it's just in Markdown. So what I do is for example, I was use my Emacs journey. Yeah, use my Emacs journey. That is when did I blog about this? Sometime before. Yeah. So yeah. Uh, the things that I enter in here are somewhat curated in the sense that they're picked up from the org room nodes and pushed in here. And how I actually decide what I want to write on is by just fooling around in the whole buffer. There's a couple of ways I can fool around. I'm going to go into the index and show you the most interesting way that I fool around is with org room UI. Yeah, I hit that. It opens up a graph of all of my nodes now. This is not something that I use very a lot. It's more let's say, oh, how to take smart notes. I accidentally landed on that. There you go. That's that. Uh, yeah. So all of my notes in here, what I work on, yeah, it's 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 all there. I mean, so if I ever am uh, at a lack for ideas, I just browse around. I click on stuff that I probably want to read about, anything that I'm exploring. Uh, yeah, usually this is a rare state that I do not have anything to work on, in the sense that I'm not getting active ideas about anything. I'm mostly in a capturing state. A publishing state is what I have to force myself to get into, because like all the information that you input without any actual output is not quite useful for this world. So publishing is a state that I have to actually get into. So when I do get into that state, I would just go around and yeah, see what are stuff that I'm writing about, explore my streams. Again, these are by the way linked. So if I wanted to say these are linked, I could just browse around. And there's also a lot of links, linked references as to like this backlinks and stuff. You could see graph overviews as to like what relates to where. This is not something that I use heavily, but then it's just a feature in Emacs, like Org-Room UI. Go check it out. It's there as a link in the description. It really helps if you're finding it difficult to get started with a particular idea that you want to work into, or you're just stuck. So there's access links again to just anything that you want to get into. That's one way that I get into a publishing mode. And another way I get into publishing mode is just write with outlines. I let them simmer. I write a blog, I leave it as a draft, and then I would. So yeah, there'll just be a draft true tag draft true tag here, and if I like push this with Hugo, this will not be published. Yeah. So there's that. I'm not gonna do that. So again, this is again version control, and it's all it's hosted on GitHub pages, so I do not have to build the pages myself. The script, yeah, Hugo is what I use for this, so it's again nothing 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 hidden about this. It's all out there how I do these things. So yeah, that's one aspect of the whole publishing thing. Another aspect is YouTube. So seeing text at a particular point in time is sort of different than a guy talking about ideas and doing things over the period of an hour. I think we're hitting 55 minutes right now. This is probably going to be my longest video ever. Probably deserves to be the longest video because like the things that I'm talking about are like fairly integral to what I do and what I've been doing for like a lot of years now. So yeah, uh, what I'm saying here is YouTube is something that I do not heavily curate. I work on outlines. We're going to go to the outline that I was working on right now. Yeah, this was the outline for the video. This again, I do take up from my org room notes. They still serve as the core raw materials for whatever I create videos on or whatever I publish. But then I just move on to outlines. Once I get into a YouTube outline, then it's all in my then it's usually the outline headings reminding me of what I want to talk about. So outlines are something that I'm like really big on, and yeah, just that's how I recursively work with outlines. If I want to refine something, I'll say if I wanted to go from this particular outline to a blog, I would create more outlines recursively for the subheadings and more if I actually needed to until I actually get decent content. So that's that. That's the publishing aspect. What's the more important thing is that doing all of this regularly. I am the NQ aspect. I am actually exploring. I do explore a lot in my website fancies. So the NQ aspect is easy. The manipulation and organization aspect is where you should leverage your tools. So you're not bothered by the administrative stuff, the logistics stuff. You don't want to be a data janitor. You actually want to be a data wizard. By data, I mean like knowledge wizard, not a knowledge janitor. I mean managing links here and there. That is something that your tools should handle for you. I hope that's what we've clarified over the whole video today. And publishing is something that I personally have to get into a definite mode for right now. I'm working on it. I mean, I do want to publish more. Uh, but yeah, that is something that I'm getting into deliberately. So that is something that I have to push myself into deliberately, a particular mode of thinking to publish. Because just finding new things is always more rewarding to me than actually publishing. So hitting the publish button is I kind of meh, but then actually finding out things that I have to study, like what I'm going to like explore and stuff, is actually a little more interesting to me. So that's it for how Emacs serves as my intellectual HQ. I know this was a long one. I intended for it to be a long one. I hope it helps your workflows in any way. And before going off, just touching on some meta aspects. The objective in here isn't to show how you fit into Emacs, but then how Emacs can actually fit into what you want for it. So right now you must be seeing that I do not spend 100% of my time in Emacs. I am not complaining a lot if I actually have to use the mouse to actually click a button here and there for Zotero and Citar, because what I value more is efficiency rather than being picky about yeah, rather than being picky about if I'm staying in Emacs, if I'm living in Emacs. Probably don't associate an ego with Emacs. Don't let it control you. Uh, Emacs is a great tool out there. It has the ability to hypnotize its users into believing that it is actually the only thing that you need, which is true. It is actually the only thing that you need. I'm not an Emacs expert. I'm saying these things right now because I probably haven't I'm just scratching the surface of what I can do with Emacs. Yeah, I could do a whole lot more. I could automate a whole bunch of things. Right now, I'm not good enough yet to actually hand out advice on Emacs being attached to Emacs being a disease or something. So it's just me, yeah, giving out excuses for not actually using Emacs all the time. I'm getting there, but it's just that don't fret over it. Don't stress out if you're not actually using Emacs a lot. I do see in the comments a little. I probably use Emacs like 90% of the time during my day right now. Uh, but yeah, you could use it for the 100% of time and it actually have a better workflow. The thing is, for me personally, it's gonna take time. I'm gonna document it all, so you guys should be able to see how we actually get there and what other stuff is needed. That's the incentive for all these documentations, documentaries, documentings. I don't know, whatever. All the reasons for all these rambles that I'm getting into. The point is, iterate, converge upon what you like, and do not be constrained by a single idea, but just play around. I mean, I personally have a lot of rough edges that I need to work on when it comes to my workflows. But I have been it's yeah, I have been learning a lot of things over the years, and it just helps to have a state of calm, knowing that you're not perfect in terms of how you're doing things, just that you will get better over time. I'm just yeah, enjoying the way. So that's the takeaway from this. Uh, yeah. Final objective in terms of an intellectual HQ aspect is don't think of it as trying to document your thoughts, but then just thinking with the computer is what I'll suggest, is what I like to part on. I'll be pushing my configs in the link in description. And again, thanks for the 200 subs. We're 200 strong now. I actually have a good feeling about where this will go. I mean, yeah, uh, I mean, I would like to play a decent part in the editor wars and stuff. I mean, I use Vim as well, but then let's not talk about that right now. If anything, I'd probably be a mercenary, but whatever. Yeah. Uh, Thanks for tuning in. This was the Bit-Mage. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you like long form content like this. I do feel that is where there's more value. I do not wish to waste your time with short form videos where I'm just going over things uh, on the surface, but then actually get deep and actually lay out all of my intellectual cards on the table as to what I'm thinking. So long form videos do help me do that. Hope you like it. If you do tell me in the comments. If you do not, do tell me in the comments as well. I would like to know what you'd like better and anything like that. So again, uh, see you in the next one. This was the Bitmage. Thanks for tuning in.